If you've been on the internet for more than a few minutes, you've undoubtedly heard of Rule 34, and if you haven't, at the very least you've heard the mantra,
if it exists, there's porn of it.
While we won't be covering the infamous Rule 34 meme and website today, let's focus a little more on the idea its mantra presents.
You know, honestly, I wanted to do something a little bit special this year for Halloween, and after the Mysterious Concerto was kind of a bust, I ended up falling back on that old mantra just a little bit, just in an attempt to find something special for Halloween. And, I did. HorrorPorn.com.
The premier website for all your ghoulish wants and desires. However, the website has gone through many life cycles up to this point.
Something that I wasn't anticipating.
The popular fetish site HorrorPorn.com went through quite the evolution since the mid-90s, from being an early internet meme site to the modern-day producers of such classics like Cunt Thulu.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great Halloween this year.
What? Oh! This had better be good!
This is the evolution of HorrorPorn.com.
Our journey begins in the mid-90s, where meme sites were starting to pop up.
So if you watched my previous video on the crusades to destroy and save ShackFu, you'll know that both ShackFu.com and SaveShackFu.com's meme sort of websites were made in the later half of the 2000s.
While looking in the Wayback Machine, we can see the first save variation of HorrorPorn.com was in 1998.
So when I make these sort of videos, I genuinely try to utilize the Wayback Machine in a way to kind of get a metric on like what a website kind of started as, and with HorrorPorn.com, I kind of just anticipated to find like an older version of the website, you know, where they were still kind of offering like shock horror type of pornography, just with like dated HTML type fonts and stuff like that. What I wasn't anticipating in finding though were the remnants of a kind of dead meme website.
HorrorPorn.com was originally founded and copyrighted by two users simply known as Goober and Dead Seas, with the Goobmeister himself giving a wonderful testimonial prior to entering saying, quote, "the classiest site I've ever seen." And if you disagree with him on this statement, then after the 18+ warning, there is an email address directed following the warning for any and all individuals who have comments or complaints regarding the site. The email listed on the site is I'mAButtMuncher@HorrorPorn.com.
Butt munch?
After hearing that email address, how can you not look at this website and know that you're going to be in for a good time? Oh, honestly. To be fair, I did actually attempt to reach out and write that particular email address, but to no one's surprise, it was a dead email.
Upon entering the site, we're met with mostly dead image links, which is a common problem with a lot of these old sites when looking at them in the Wayback Machine. I won't lie, I genuinely wish these old images were here and viewable in some form because my curiosity was piqued after reading some of the information on this website. Moving on down the site, past what I assume was the old banner for the website is the horror porn philosophy.
Alright, so for 1997, this shit is pretty wild, so make sure to strap yourself in.
We are crossing the divide between cult horror classics and pornography. Rather than the bra and panty-clad vixen simply being mutilated, we are going to indulge in the pleasures of her flesh.
Come with us, taste our pleasures.
Face it, if you're a homicidal maniac, you're not concerned with consequence. You rape them, you stab them, you let the boys at the country club slab them.
Don't we make you laugh? Aren't we fucking funny?
Oh, but it gets better. If you scroll a little further down, they had something featured on the site called the Ho Call, where if you send them an erotic picture
and a one-page biography,
you too could be featured on their website, a part of the Ho Call. As of now, the Ho Call is missing, but the link is still available. Once inside, there is a message from the creators that this section of the site should be back up in September.
This particular section was archived in December of 1998, so at this point in my research, I kind of just assumed that this was where the cutoff point happened and they had abandoned the website. However, there was an extra link on there that made me realize that no, the site was definitely still active.
If you go down about halfway, you'll see a link to a section that says, "Do you hate Republicans?" After clicking on it, we are treated with a rant from the website's creators in regards to the Republican Party.
So I'm not going to get into politics here because that's not really what this channel is supposed to be focused on. However, with this section here, it actually gives us two interesting insights.
They talk about Republicans wanting to impeach Clinton and quote-unquote, "don't look at me, I voted for Bush" statements. Well, President Bill Clinton didn't enter the impeachment process till December 19th, 1998. This tells me the whole call was going to be inactive until the very least September of 1999, but most likely never did come back up, as we'll see later. The other interesting point is that with the site's creators' unfiltered opinions on politics, it gives us an interesting look at what the internal thoughts were on many of the youth or young people in America in regards to their political feelings.
A lot of these early websites were kind of like live journals for a lot of people, and what I mean by that is a lot of people would just kind of log on and vent their feelings and frustrations as to how they felt about a current topic or a situation, and basically anybody could go on here and look up, what their feelings were as long as they had the URL to get there. And although this is about politics, it's always been fascinating to me to find these various live journals from the 90s because it's interesting to kind of look at what the mindset was from the previous decade.
Heading back to the main page and scrolling down a bit further, we get to my favorite thing about this site, as it turns out that both Goober and Dead Seas not only were connoisseurs of the macabre, but they were also rappers with their debut album, If I Were Black. Fucking philosophers.
Was every white person in the mid-90s just trying to be a rapper?
I'm assuming they're white because of the album name, but still. For only $6, you could be blessed with 15 pipe-hitting, hoe-pimpin' tracks. Also, make sure to remember these are cassettes only as well, homie. Sorry, no 8 tracks available here.
Wait a minute, were 8 tracks even still a thing in 1997? I'm gonna be honest, I tried, but I don't get it.
If you scroll a little further down, you'll find they were also selling 2 different t-shirts with images unfortunately being dead.
Fucking selfish.
I can only imagine what these t-shirts had on them, but I'm speculating it had to do something with the phrases below, as it would be really fucking dumb if the shirts just contained the words Christians, Jews, etc.
So at this point, I thought to myself, where can I find pipe-hitting, hoe-pimpin' tracks like this to listen to? And to the best of my knowledge and the research that I was doing, I couldn't find anywhere that these particular songs were backed up. However, I did find one of the next best things.
Going a little further to October of 1999 on the Wayback Machine, I found that the porn aspect of the site was virtually gone. Instead, the site was pretty much focused on the rapping careers of both Goober and Dead Seas, as they were still promoting their landmark album, If I Were Black. But they also had samples of those tracks available for download at the time.
Obviously, I clicked on the links to see if they were still available, and unfortunately, they're all dead. However, when you look at the track list, it kind of starts to paint a picture as to what type of people the Goobmeister, I know that's not his name, but I'm calling him the Goobmeister, and Dead Seas were like.
Tracks like Mass Murdering Motherfuckers, Billy Bob, Humanity's Final Show, and Hoe Killer. I don't know, you just get this strange feeling like these guys were a part of...
Oh, they were definitely ICP fans.
After realizing this, the whole site seems to take on a new persona. The crude and over-the-top humor, excessive sex, and violence all kind of spells Juggalo fan or people inspired to make them based on Insane Clown Posse.
And I'm not gonna be that guy that shits on ICP because it's the cool thing to do. Because, I don't know, I thought The Great Malenko was alright.
But it's funny that out of all the things HorrorPorn.com would start as, it would be an ICP-inspired meme porn site with horror rappers.
It's almost too perfect.
From what dates are available, in 2000, both Goober and Dead Seas would lose the copyright on the site.
Unless they randomly decided to move their business of operations to the Czech Republic and start a porn fucking conglomerate out there, which I highly doubt because the P.O. boxes for the old meme website were based in Georgia. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Goober and Dead Seas are not involved with HorrorPorn.com today.
For roughly a decade after this, HorrorPorn.com would mostly be just a gateway URL to an old XXX.com website. It may also have had ties to more taboo and weird, possibly illegal shit, as there was a section linked off to animal pornography.
But that's not right!
So I know we cover a lot of weird, eccentric, fucking out there topics on this channel, but I'm just gonna be upfront with you. I didn't click on any of the fucking links for this particular website, because honestly, I was just afraid I was gonna click on there and see some weird ass bestiality shit, and chances are a lot of the links would probably be dead, but there's always that chance that it's fucking not, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking wash my hands of this shit right now. Because we kind of found what we needed to find for this section, where was the next chronological step in the website. And, I didn't do the proper due diligence, okay, for that section of that, I suppose. And if that makes me a bad person, well, I guess I'm just a fucking monster then.
You're a monster!
However, in 2017, the family-friendly and household name of HorrorPorn.com that we all know and love today would be established. Creators of such classics like Black Mass and Bad Santa.
Wait a second, those weren't the right ones.
That's better, and for the most part has stayed relatively consistent with putting out new content as recently as this year. And this may sound crazy, but the production quality from this parody porn site is actually pretty high.
So this is one of those streaming service type of websites, where you pay like a subscription fee and all that stuff. However, if you go on there and click on really any of the videos that they have listed, you can actually watch like 30 to 45 second teasers on there and kind of gauge the quality and kind of what I'm talking about from those videos. Although I should mention real quick, if you do go on there and you don't want to see some really fucked up shit, do not fucking click on Perverse Family. Seriously.
I'm honestly not even kidding though. For some of the videos, I did see the production quality was way higher than some of the horror movies you're gonna even find on Amazon Prime.
Honestly, after looking at a couple of these videos, I was kind of thinking to myself, I wonder why they haven't tried to do like a full-length feature film or like a special effects house type deal kind of situation, but maybe they did look into it and it just wasn't going to be profitable in the long run, that porn was way more profitable than doing full-length features.
I decided to do a little more digging on the website after I didn't receive any emails back from their administration teams. It turns out the website domain was purchased back in 2011 by a company known as netlooks.r.o. Who is Netlooks SRO? Well, they are an organization that's based out of the Czech Republic that operates a network of various pornographic streaming sites, as well as act as a production company.
You've undoubtedly seen one of their videos before, you probably just haven't realized it. They make a lot of those fake taxi, fake real estate agents with like Europeans in it. So if you've seen any of those and it's in like, French or Czech or anything like that, chances are it's their production company.
What's interesting to note is that Netlooks SRO is affiliated with up to 40 plus different porn websites. They have an X Virtual, which is touted as a 3D 5K experience.
The innovators leading the way in technology. Porn.
They are also affiliated with Movie Porn, which are most of the modern day porno parodies you'll find on Pornhub, albeit they are genuinely re-uploads from the site. In the Czech Republic, Netlooks SRO is registered under movie pictures and video industry. Interestingly enough, they are also kind of act as a payments processor.
Yeah, I kind of just accidentally stumbled onto this website where they were like specifically dealing with billing and customer service and such. And honestly, at first I thought it was a completely separate company just with the same name because there's no mention of porn anywhere on this site.
I guess if you're gonna run a network of porn sites, it'd be better to handle the payments processing yourself. Interestingly enough though, there is also a hub page to all of these different porn sites. It's known as nats.checkcash.com. On there, they show off the many main sites that they're affiliated with.
So without actually talking to the Netlooks SRO people, it's impossible to see whether or not all of these 40 plus affiliated different porn companies are like all in-house. But my theory is that it's kind of like a Channel Awesome scenario, circa like 2008, 2010 scenario, where you had like the main people that would still make pornography in-house, but then they also let a bunch of other groups come in and they were kind of like affiliated with the Netlooks SRO company.
I would like to circle back and make mention of a couple different films on the HorrorPorn.com website. First and foremost would be Zombie Strike Origin. This was actually the first of the parodies I happened to watch while doing research for this video, and despite the ludicrous premise,
it's zombies fucking during an attack.
The makeup and effects are honestly surprisingly really well done. If you looked at the thumbnail for this video, it's actually one of the mid-transformation sequences that happens during the film.
Yeah, this movie attempted to do a zombie transformation sequence in it, and I'm not even fucking kidding. It's actually done pretty well.
I can't show it, obviously, but when you first hear the premise of HorrorPorn's website, your initial thought is, cheap rubber suits, etc., and maybe some blood thrown in for good measure. However, the company honestly goes a bit above and beyond what you would expect for a schlocky horror porn website. Another good example is the Roswell video. There is an old alien autopsy video supposedly leaked from Roswell many years ago. Well, in the porn parody, they actually took the steps to faithfully recreate it to a certain degree. Until the sex happened, I kind of forgot that I was watching a porn parody.
Until the sex happened.
So hey, if watching It the Clown fucking a girl or a sexy version of Pinhead is your thing, then honestly, you'll kind of get your money's worth. It's crazy to think that what a weird lifespan the domain horrorporn.com has had. From starting off as a porn/meme/rap site to ultimately becoming a streaming site for horror-themed porn.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. When the mysterious concentrator fell through as the little Halloween spooktacular thing I wanted to do, I immediately fell back onto horrorporn.com because I thought, okay, well, we've talked about a couple of porn stars, we've talked about some horror stuff and weird taboo things, so I was like, you know what, I think that'd be kind of weird and, interesting to talk about, like the history of this site. What I wasn't anticipating, though, was just how much of a weird mini rabbit hole we would be diving into by looking up the origins of horrorporn.com. It started off as like a sort of porn, sort of meme, sort of rapper, juggalo, ICP site, and ended up going all the way to the Czechoslovakian porn industry. So it just goes to show you never know where you're going to end up with anything, really. And to be completely honest, I didn't cover every single detail in this video. There's some of the more boring elements that deal with like the day-to-day taskings in the business of like network SRO, but if you are interested, there is a lot of the stuff that I do have linked below, so you're more than welcome to check that stuff out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and look forward to Halloween special next year. Anyway, happy Halloween, guys, and have a good one.